Monday, April 13th, Porsche Arena, Stuttgart, Germany. Note this date and venue carefully, set an alert, and cancel any other commitments you had, because the outcome of that draw ceremony was the sort of electrifying moment that forces you to pause and gaze at your screen in disbelief, wondering whether it had been written in advance. It had not been. This is actual life unfolding, and when actual life chooses to deliver high drama, it surpasses every Hollywood screenwriter's imagination. Alexandra Eala versus Leylah Fernandez. Take a moment to really consider what this signifies, not merely as a tennis contest, but as a narrative. Two left-handed women carrying Filipino blood in their veins, born on opposite ends of the globe, molded by vastly different experiences, now preparing to step onto the identical court in one of the most esteemed indoor clay competitions on the entire WTA schedule and fight for every possible reward, ranking points, forward momentum, self-belief, and a berth in the second round against the fifth seed. The tennis gods did not simply arrange a match, they composed an entire chapter, and this chapter has been developing over a long period. Alex's journey to Stuttgart was not given to her freely. She defeated Grabher in straight sets to secure her position in the main draw. She then pressed Jelena Ostapenko, a former French Open champion, right to the edge, losing by merely 6 points throughout the whole match. 6 points. That is not a defeat. That is a clear signal. That is a player informing the world that she deserves to be at this level, that the clay surface does not frighten her, that she can exchange powerful shots with the top players and emerge still standing tall. So, she did not return home. She entered Stuttgart directly, and the draw presented her with this: a first-round encounter carrying more storytelling depth than most championship finals. Now, before any reader checks the rankings and concludes this will be simple, allow me to describe exactly who Leylah Fernandez is, because if you overlook her even briefly, you will have committed an error that cannot be corrected. Leylah Fernandez is a 5-time WTA champion. Speak that aloud. 5 titles. She won Monterrey, won it once more, secured Hong Kong, captured Washington, D.C. at WTA 500 level, and included Osaka in her list of triumphs. Her highest career ranking is world number 13. She advanced to the final of the US Open in 2021 at only 18 years old, and during that run, she overcame Naomi Osaka, Angelique Kerber, Elina Svitolina, and Aryna Sabalenka in successive rounds. Let that register fully. 4 of the greatest players on the planet defeated one after another by a teenager from Canada possessing a backhand that defies the laws of physics and a competitive fire that outright rejects the notion of impossible. She ultimately lost to Emma Raducanu in that final, but by that stage, she had already introduced herself to the tennis world in a manner that can never be reversed. Her record is not simply noteworthy. It is the type of career summary that earns respect every single time she enters the court, no matter what her present form appears to be. And at this moment, her present form is precisely where the narrative becomes truly captivating. Because Leylah Fernandez, former Grand Slam finalist, 5-time champion, world number 25, has experienced a harsh 2026 season. 4 wins and 9 losses coming into Stuttgart. Reflect on that record carefully. She has been eliminated early in Brisbane, Adelaide, the Australian Open, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Dubai, Indian Wells, and Miami. 8 tournaments. Early departures. A player who once overpowered the competition at Flushing Meadows is now seeking solutions, attempting to rediscover the version of herself that caused audiences to explode with excitement and made opponents feel uneasy. The confidence remains present somewhere deep within. You do not claim 5 titles and reach a Grand Slam final without having that quality firmly embedded in your competitive core. But currently, it is only flickering rather than shining intensely, and that is a vital difference when you are preparing to confront someone who is progressing in the completely opposite direction. Alex arrives in Stuttgart holding a 15-9 record in 2026. She advanced to the semifinals in Auckland. She achieved quarterfinals in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. She progressed far at Indian Wells and Miami, reaching the 4th round at both events. She has defeated Donna Vekic, Jasmine Paolini, Diana Schneider. She lost to Ostapenko on clay in Linz by 6 points. Her path this year is not a mild rising line. It is a soaring trajectory. The momentum rests entirely with her, and in professional tennis, momentum is not some vague idea. It is a powerful tool. A 2-0-year-old who has secured 15 matches in a calendar year against a 2-3-year-old who has secured 4 is not simply a matter of numbers. It is a clear portrait of two careers moving in entirely opposite directions at precisely the same instant. But here is the element that renders this whole confrontation so multi-layered and so riveting beyond the statistics and the rankings. Leylah Fernandez possesses Filipino heritage. Her mother, Irene, carries Filipino ancestry, linking Fernandez to the same 115 million people who have been following Alex's every single match, every victory, every near defeat with intense emotion. Fernandez herself has spoken openly about her mixed heritage, recognizing herself as both Filipino and Latina, accepting both aspects of her identity with openness and pride. And that generates something that professional tennis has truly never encountered before. Two players with Filipino roots meeting on the WTA Tour for the first time ever, competing against one another on indoor clay in Germany, while an entire nation struggles to decide how to feel about it. The Eala Army knows exactly where its loyalty belongs. It belongs with Alex, totally and without any doubt. But there exists a peculiar and wonderful tension in this match that you simply cannot disregard. Both sides of that net hold a portion of the same archipelago. Both players stand for something profoundly important to the same group of people. It is not a rivalry. It is a powerful meeting of shared heritage and different life paths, and it is taking place in Stuttgart on Monday in the first round of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. Now, let's discuss the strategic battle itself, because the tactical aspect of this matchup is genuinely intriguing, and the better you comprehend it, the more thrilling it grows. Both players are left-handed. In professional tennis, left-handers constitute roughly 10% of the tour. When two of them confront each other, the complete geometry of the game transforms. Every tactical approach developed against right-handed opponents becomes neutralized at once. The wide serve to the ad court that normally pulls right-handers far off the court now bends directly into Fernandez's forehand. The cross-court forehand that normally targets a right-hander's backhand now arrives on Fernandez's forehand instead. Every natural instinct, every practice pattern, every deeply rooted tactical routine has to be deliberately changed in the heat of the moment under intense match pressure. It is like playing chess and suddenly realizing that your opponent is using the same colored pieces as you. Nothing operates in the usual manner. Every decision requires new calculation. This is a mirror match in the purest meaning of the term, and it is going to require exceptional tactical adaptability from both women. Alex holds the slight edge in this area because her 2026 season has been constructed around adjusting and solving problems. She has encountered varied surfaces, varied playing styles, varied tactical tests across her 15 victories, and she has discovered methods to succeed. Fernandez, despite all her talent, has been caught in a pattern of early exits that tends to harden tactical thinking instead of broadening it. The player who can readjust most rapidly in a left versus left situation is almost certainly going to capture the first set, and in tennis, the first set in a 3-set encounter carries immense value. There is also something almost poetic about how this match serves as a preview of what Alex could develop into. Fernandez at 23 is a realized version of the future. 5 titles, a Grand Slam final, victories over the absolute top tier of the sport. Alex at 20 has none of those accomplishments yet. No titles, no deep Grand Slam performances, no career-shaping moments at the highest stage. But she possesses the direction, she possesses the desire, she possesses the work ethic instilled in her by years at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, a place where the spirit of competition is not only instructed but absorbed every single day. If Alex can defeat the player that her future self might one day resemble, the mental impact of that outcome extends far beyond ranking points. It becomes proof of concept. It becomes a strong statement. Now, the second serve situation has to be confronted directly because it was the deciding element in Linz, and it cannot be overlooked heading into Stuttgart. Against Ostapenko, Alex won 0% of points on her second serve. 0. That is the narrow margin that kept her from a notable victory. Fernandez is an aggressive returner with outstanding timing and a forehand that can change the direction of pace with alarming accuracy. A second serve that stays up in the center of the box is not just a wasted chance. It is an open invitation to be punished severely. The Rafa Nadal Academy has had nearly a week to focus on this precise issue, and if they have achieved even a small improvement in second serve spin rate, placement, and disguise, The tactical balance in this match shifts meaningfully in Alex's favor. It is not merely a technical correction. It is the difference between operating from a position of strength and operating on the defensive from the very first rally. The indoor clay surface at the Porsche Arena introduces another dimension to all of this. Indoor clay behaves differently from the outdoor variety. Without wind interference, the bounce is more stable and more predictable. The lighting is regulated. The court speed is slightly quicker than conventional outdoor clay because the surface is kept to extremely exact standards. For Alex, who has now competed in 2 competitive clay matches in Linz in the past week, the indoor setting could genuinely serve as an advantage. The consistency of the bounce enables her to time her shots with higher accuracy, and the faster court speed matches her aggressive return game, which has been one of the most successful tools in her entire 2026 season, winning 36.7% of return games across the year. For Fernandez, arriving from the green clay of Charleston, where she won 1 match before departing early, the indoor surface represents a new adjustment challenge on top of all the other mental and tactical matters she is already handling. Her clay record in 2026 stands at 1-1, not disastrous, not commanding, a coin flip. And coin flips in, first-round matches at WTA 500 events are precisely the situations where underdogs create the stories that nobody anticipated. And if you want to understand why winning this match matters beyond just the immediate result, examine what the draw offers next. The winner of Alex versus Fernandez meets 5th seed Jasmine Paolini in the round of 16. Paolini, the 2024 French Open finalist, the Italian clay court expert who Alex dismantled 6-1, 7-6 inches Dubai earlier this season in one of the most dominant and composed performances of her entire career. That is not a dream draw.